Okay. Kevin's mentioned it a few different times today that there's been a lot going on in our lives, a lot going on this past year, a lot going on in our community, and there might still be a lot to happen in the next couple of weeks. We don't know. We just know there's a lot of things that were weighing on our hearts right now. Heading into Christmas season, it can be a dark time for a lot of people. When we look at the original Christmas story in the scriptures, we see it was a dark time for God's people. We see it was a dark time for the people of that time. They were under oppression. They had to travel great distances just for the census. They had to deal with the pressures of their day, that some of them were caught up in just a routine religiosity as far as their faith went. And yet God chose that time, that people, to break through the darkness and shine into his marvelous light. And so this Christmas, I challenge us to celebrate, and not just to focus on the rest of the things, to say, I choose to celebrate despite these other things that I carry, despite these other things that are coming my way, despite these other things that have tried to take me out. I choose to celebrate because God is worthy, because God saw me in my deep need, and he chose to reach out to me where I was, or where I am today, where I am right now. God is speaking to me. God is speaking to you today. He's wanting to show you that there is a great hope in your future, that there is a great love he is bestowing upon you, that there is a great faith awakening happening, and he's wanting you to be a part of it. He doesn't want you to miss out on it. And so I'm going to focus on some people in the original Christmas story who were celebrating amidst difficult circumstances, amidst unexpected circumstances, amidst circumstances that maybe they shouldn't even have been celebrating. They wouldn't have had a reason to earthly celebrate for, but God had filled them with the joy of the Lord. And so I pray that the Lord will fill you with his joy today. As we sang this morning already, we will rejoice. Rejoice because Christ has come. Rejoice because Christ sees you. He doesn't leave you where you are. He brings comfort. He restores. And he says, I am here. Trust in me. And so the first person we want to look at this morning is Mary. And in Luke chapter 1, verse 46, we're jumping on a few different passages today. It's Luke 1:46. Mary sang praises to God at the news of her pregnancy. We've touched on this in previous Sundays as well. Her pregnancy wasn't the easiest of circumstances, no matter how you look at it. And that she was engaged and she had to explain to her fiancé that I'm pregnant, but it's not yours, and you know it's not yours. And the culture of a time, being pregnant before marriage even, and then being accused of cheating on your fiancé, it's just not an ideal situation. Yet here we see her singing praises to God in the middle of all of that mental struggle, in the middle of all that physical tension that was going on around her as well. And she chose to sing praises to God, similar to how we sing praises to God this morning. That no matter how we go throughout our week, we might choose to sing praises to God on Wednesday. We might choose to sing praises to God alone in our vehicle. We choose in those moments to say, God, whatever is going on right now, I choose to still sing to you. I still choose to lift your name on high. I still choose to acknowledge you are doing great things in the heavenlies. You are still bestowing your blessings upon my life. You're still caring for me. Even though I would rather something else be happening, even though I see this as a kind of a problem right now, I trust you, and I live to embrace your will and your calling for my life. So Mary chose to sing praises to God despite all of these things. And our songs are an expression of our worship to God, but not the only way we can worship God. We worship God through our whole lives. So consciously choose to worship God this Christmas. Consciously choose to say, God, I choose to see you above and beyond all these other things that are trying to take me out right now. I choose to see you. I choose to celebrate you. I choose to rejoice here in your presence because I acknowledge you're here with me wherever you might find yourself this week. The second group of people I want to focus on is Luke chapter 2, verse 17, the shepherds. In Luke 2:17, the shepherds, we talked about last week, they're just in their workplace. They're just out in their fields. They're doing the night shift. And yet, God chose to expose his great message of love for the world to them. And so when they went and they were obedient and they saw Jesus, they didn't just keep it for themselves, but they chose to tell other people. This Christmas, as we receive from Jesus, would we also choose to celebrate Jesus by spreading his gospel to other people? Even in the most unlikely of situations, it's a dark night, it's late at night, people are closed into their homes, shops are closed, yet they're going down the street corners, anyone and everyone they can come and see. They're saying, Jesus has been born, the Messiah is here, he's come into the world, it's for you and not just for me. This Christmas, would we have that celebratory approach to say, Jesus is for me, he's here, he's done these things for me, but not just for me. For you, for all people, for my neighbors, for my family, for my community, for this world. And when we speak that life into the hearts and lives that are not feeling that life this Christmas, will we encourage those that Jesus is for them who don't think that Jesus is for them, who don't think they're welcome in a church, who don't have only memories of who God was as a child to them, but nothing active since then? Would we speak words of hope to those even who are opposed to the faith, to those even who have nothing to do with Christmas or the church or Jesus Christ himself? Would we say, Jesus is still come for you, Jesus is still available for you, and Jesus still loves you? Would we join with the celebratory message of the shepherds and declare openly for everyone and anyone that Jesus is here and he is for us? Jesus came for our sake, and let that impact your perspective on others as well. Because sometimes we get caught up in our competitions between churches, our competitions between certain family members, and our own perspective of what that person is and who that people group is, or what that person said in the past, or how that person's already celebrating Christmas in their own way. We got to look and say, Jesus came for them. Jesus came for you. He came for all of us. He came for humanity. And so let that perspective say, Jesus wants to use me to help spread that message. As he helped the shepherds to be used to spread the message originally, he wants to use you to spread his message to people around you this Christmas. The third group is this: the wise men in Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. They presented Jesus with gifts of honor. Gifts of honor. They came from a great distance, not just to give him a small Kinder Surprise. They came to give him something that would show that they really respected him, that they really came and they valued Jesus. They came and they showed that they treasured Jesus. Would we give not only a physical gifts this Christmas, but give gifts that show value to those around us? Time, a listening ear, a word of encouragement, to show that we value those who are around us. We also value Jesus. We'll say, Jesus, I'm not just going to go through the prayers of my meal times. Jesus, I'm not just going to go through the Christmas story of candlelight service. Jesus, I'm not just going to go through the Christmas service this evening with our ministerial. Jesus, I'm going to give you time in my day. Jesus, I'm going to allow you to be the focus of our family day. I'm going to allow you to have the time, Lord God, to be heard by myself. Show God, as the wise men did, that you honor Jesus. Let that be part of your celebrations this Christmas, that you will truly honor him, that you will show God that he has not only come for you, but now you've embraced him fully beyond just the ritualistic side of Christmas and Christianity together. This Christmas, you could express the love of Jesus to all whom you come into contact with. As the wise men gave gifts to Jesus, so you can give a gift to Jesus by also being obedient to him and sharing his message with those who are around you. By being a listening ear, by being that voice of reason, by inviting someone to something or inviting someone into your life and allowing Jesus, his message of hope and love, to continue to spread through you. There's a fourth group that rejoiced, and that's found in Luke chapter 2, verse 13. That's the angels. The angels rejoiced gladly because Jesus was no longer just someone that they had access to, they could see, but that humanity was now, he broke through from the heavens, and he was available to all humans in the flesh. And they rejoiced over that because they had been looking forward to it. They had seen the preparations. They had known what was coming, and now it was here. That built up anticipation, and they were celebrating. And that's not the only time we find him celebrating in Scripture either. In Luke chapter 15, so the same book as later on, and in verse 10, it says they celebrate whenever someone gives their life to Christ. The angels are watching over humanity. They're celebrating over you. They've celebrated over you in the past. They're celebrating over you today. They're celebrating over you because you continue to live your life for God. That's what we're celebrating for. Now, we're not angels today, but we can still find reason to celebrate in that we're not giving up our faith. We're not giving up hope. We're not giving up on God because he's not giving up on us. And we can look forward to say, you know what? I'm going to be one day face to face with Jesus Christ in heaven. But right now, I'm still figuratively face to face with Jesus wherever I find myself, whoever I find myself with. And this Christmas is no exception. So as the angels rejoice, they rejoice because Jesus had come to earth. Let us rejoice because Jesus is coming again. Let us have that built-up anticipation to say, I am looking forward to all that Jesus has in store for me, to do through me, and all I will continue to encounter here on earth as well as in the heavens. And there's reason to celebrate this Christmas. The angels didn't just reveal themselves in the darkness because they wanted to be seen. They revealed themselves because they couldn't help but be seen. They were so full of joy. They had to express it. And it was made known that not only was Jesus here for them, but the spiritual powers of light were full of rejoicing. That's something powerful, because we don't see that every night. We see the northern lights, but this is the angels. This is something greater. And this is the spiritual forces showing, greater is he who is in us than he who is in the world. The verse we ended on last week. That you have reason to rejoice because you are on the winning side. You have reason to spread out his joy because nothing can overcome you that is greater than the Lord. You have reason to look forward to the future with hope despite whatever weights you're carrying today. And you have reason to continue to point other people to the Lord no matter what they are going through because no one is too far gone for Christ. So as others have sang songs of praise, as others have pushed through the darkness to shine their light, as others had given gifts of honor, as others have burst through and told people no matter what was going on, that Jesus is here for them, would you be inspired this Christmas to continue on in that celebratory tradition and say, God, whatever is happening in my life, I choose you. God, whatever is going to come my way this week, I choose to be filled with your joy. God, however I view people around me, they also need to know that you're for them. God, whatever it is, there's no excuse. I choose you, and I'm thankful for you. And I choose to look forward, not just to an eternal future with you in heaven, but to view you here with me now on this earth, giving way, to burst forth through any sort of obstacles. You call me more than a conqueror. You equip me. You remind me of all that you've taught and more. Would you, Lord, inspire me this Christmas to have it not just be a routine, have it not just be services, not just prayers, not just gifts, not just a meal, not just whatever you have planned out, but Jesus, be Christmas to me. Jesus, be Christmas within my family, within my community. Would we honor you in all that we say and do? I want us to bow our heads where we're at right now, to reflect on what Christmas may mean to you if you had Jesus as your reason to celebrate. Because you do. But what does it look like then to act upon that celebration? What does it look like now to say, Jesus, I consciously choose to rejoice. Jesus, I consciously choose to put you first. Jesus, I consciously choose to say, you are God, therefore no one can stand against me. How is your Christmas looking? How does Jesus at the center reflect your faith, your beliefs? How are your plans shaping up? How could they formulate so that you will give Jesus all of the honor this Christmas? So that you will show not only those around you, not only yourselves, but Jesus. That Jesus, you are here. You are greater than anything that can come against me. Jesus, I choose to celebrate you. Jesus, I give you my everything as you gave everything for me. Jesus, I'm thankful. Jesus, I embrace your gift of love. Jesus, I embrace the hope that you've brought into my life. Spend some time right now just reflecting in silence, listening for the Lord's voice, and let him continue to put this birth of celebration and rejoicing into your heart.